Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door or Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of All the Mods 8. And today, we're going to be looking at FTB Industrial Contraptions, but there's a few things we're going to need to look at first. One of those is Mire Trees. This mod adds rubber trees and a few other things here, but it's a very simple mod that does its job pretty well. So let's actually find a place to plant these. I think I want to place at least one here and one here. Let's grow these. So these are what these trees look like. You know, pretty obvious whenever you're walking through a forest and all of that stuff. But we really just need probably two of these. I think that'll work. So let's go in here and let's make up a wooden bucket and a tree tap. So wooden bucket and a tree tap. Let's grab that. Let's grab that. What does the tree tap need? A couple nuggets. So we'll just grab 4. Where's my crafting table? I lost it there for a second. So let's just grab a handful of these buckets. They are not stackable. That's fine. And a couple tree taps. Are these stackable? Yes, they are. All right. So what we need to do is we need to just come out here, put this on there, and then put a bucket under. And this will slowly start to produce some rubber. So we'll do that here as well. I'm not 100% sure on how this fully functions. I do think that if you put multiple on a tree, it actually drains it much quicker, and it prevents you from actually getting the final result. What is this? Sorry, I just totally got distracted by this guy. Okay, no idea what that was. But once we get the first bit of this, we'll get some latex. And it looks like actually Botany Pots is a decent idea for this if you really wanted to get some stuff here. Some latex. I don't think the logs or anything can be converted into latex. Oh, so actually the centrifuge can do that. Okay. Interesting. That's good to know. It looks like we also might have some other sort of... That's just a wood seed. Okay. Alright, so now we're just going to kind of wait. Oh, if we right-click on this, it shows us the capacity. I mean, if we really wanted to try putting this here, I guess we could. I'll let these guys fill up because I need some latex. In this pack, by the way, this does just go into Thermal's series rubber sheets or cured rubber here. That's the same with Industrial Foregoing. It looks like we do have the ability to make rubber essence, which is rubber seeds. That would not be a terrible thing to look at. But I'm going to let this harvest or produce, and then I'll harvest it on camera. Okay, so this one should be ready. And we'll just right click, and that'll pull off some latex. And then, of course, once we smelt this, it'll be fantastic. One thing I want to keep in mind here is that we're going to need a lot more latex than probably what this can provide. So we may want to look at getting a Botany Pot. Botany Pot. Oh, we do not have Botany Pot Tiers in here? Okay, I might add that mod. Botany Pot Tiers is pretty decent. I would say it's a balanced recipe. The first tier of a Botany Pot is 2 iron and an ender pearl, which, you know, isn't too terrible. But for some reason, all the mods just does not like having that Botany Pot Tiers. I realized that with all the mods 9, so I added that, and then it's not in all the mods 8. Interesting. Okay. Let's look at making a Botany Pot real quick. So this just can passively produce for a little while. So we need a flower pot. We need some clay, which I'll go harvest real quick. Alrighty, so let's make our first Botany Pot here. So we're going to make a hopper, which requires a chest. I almost made a cooking pot there on accident. We're going to need, not a chest actually, just a hopper, a flower pot, and then make the shape of the hopper. And that gives us a hopper botany pot. We can then take a chest, put a hopper botany pot on top, and we can grab a rubberwood sapling. I'm kind of curious, do I have any form of better... I have rich soil. This actually is a better thing than normal dirt. So I think that's probably what we're going to use. As I know there is quite a few different soil types you can use. So if you look through here, you can find better ones. But right now, 1.1 growth speed is fantastic. I'm kind of curious. I do want to install Botany Pot Tiers real quick. I will leave a link in the description for that. So let me get that installed, and I will be right back here shortly. Alrighty, so let's quickly craft this up here. This is going to give us an elite botany pot. And basically what these pots do is they don't guarantee more drops. What they do is they roll multiple times. So there's default values, which I have not changed. Let me quickly look at them. So the elite tier, which is what we just made, will produce 2 times the output and also 2 times faster. The ultra, which is the next tier, we'll look at the crafting recipe for this here real quick. The ultra is 2 diamond blocks and a nether star, which is 6 times faster, 6 times output. The creative tier, which is terracotta of any kind, 2 blocks of netherite, and an enchanted golden apple. That'll give you 10 and 10. So 10 faster, 10 output. So they aren't cheap, right? I genuinely think that this just saves a little bit more time rather than needing to, wait. I don't like waiting for the botany pot stuff to figure itself out. But sometimes we just got to do that, right? So my goal with FTB Industrial Contraptions is to actually get into Create without touching Create at first. We're going to look at trying to get a roller and a few other things here. So we need to actually get some copper smelted up. Let's get that going here. Let's quickly make up some tiny coal pieces. We'll just throw in 32. 32, take out the terracotta. And we're just going to hope that this will get done soon. And that we'll have enough for this. What's next? So we also need, it looks like, aluminum gears. So we're going to need to smelt up some aluminum. Looks like we need a machine block, which is industrial grade. So we're going to need to smelt up some iron. And that looks like we're going to also need a fuse, which is 3 industrial grade. So it looks like we're going to have to do some smelting. So let me get some of the resources we need, and I will be right back with you. Alright, so while the things are cooking, let's start working on some basic stuff. So we need to get an iron furnace. I need to go mining for some iron, really, really badly. So iron furnace. Do I have another furnace just sitting around? I do. So we'll do this. Okay. And then we also need a LV battery, which requires 10, which I have not smelted yet. Let's grab some tin here. And I will smelt this and be back again. Alright, so let's make up some of this copper wire here. As much of it as we can. One more set. Okay. So, LV battery. Grab some redstone here. Perfect. And this is going to be a basic generator. Alright. And then we're going to want to try and make a macerator first. So we need 24 fuses. That'll work. Machine block. And then we also need one of these electronic circuits. So it looks like we're going to need some cobblestone. And also some flint. Okay. Perfect. So let's get started with these two things. I should have coal on me. All right. So let's place down the basic generator. Cable. Macerator. We'll throw some coal in here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the macerator to attempt ore doubling. It is not guaranteed. We could use a squeezer. Pretty sure the squeezer still does that, doesn't it? For integrated dynamics? No. That's not what I'm thinking. I think it's for ore, isn't it? So if I looked up iron ore, I thought there was something to do with the squeezer. Yeah, mechanical squeezer. If you had the ore variation and not the chunk variation, it'd be fantastic. What we should be able to do is throw this in the macerator. There's a 35% chance of doubling the ore. And then, of course, you just want to smelt it. It's not terrible. It's not the best. But there is no real thing as ore doubling in the early game. Unless you use, like, an ore hammer. Which I just don't feel like wasting materials for it. I mean, you potentially could get everything back, but for right now, I'm fine without doing that. Okay, so the reason we wanted that is because we want to grind up copper and zinc. So if we grab zinc, I'm actually getting some rubber from this, or some latex from that, which is fantastic. Okay, so the zinc we need to triple, so I need to throw in 3 things of zinc before I put in the copper, or divide this into 16, I think, and that should be good. Okay, so once we get the copper and zinc, we can then make the brass. Not just brass, I think it's going to be the brass dust. Yeah, the brass dust, and then that can be smelted into brass ingots. So I'm going to let this go, and we'll see you guys shortly. Alrighty, so we're going to craft up the roller here, which is the last machine that we're going to make for an FTB Industrial Contraptions for now. But this should get us all the way into create, which we will get into next episode, because I'm kind of making these a little bit shorter of videos. Even if we don't progress as much as like episode 1 or 2, we're still going to progress a decent amount. So I have some brass ingots. We're just going to throw in all 32 of those, yeah. And this will, of course, make plates. So let's discuss why I'm doing this before we wrap this one up. So I want to make brass hands. Brass hands are used with deployers. Deployers can place down saplings. So this is one of the key components for a tree farm in this mod pack, and with create. And so we need this, and we need saws. I believe it's called a mechanical saw. Yeah, this thing right here. We can create a rotational machine that will basically use the mechanical saws to cut down trees. The deployer will plant the saplings once it receives them. It's a very simple system. I've done this in FTB Skies. I've done this in Cottage Witch, I believe, and probably another pack, I'm thinking. But the reason we want to do this is because we want netherwood charcoal. This was actually brought to my attention by somebody. I can't remember the name. It's not on the top of my head right now. Just call me Aura is who commented that, and this actually does more per piece of charcoal. This does 12 instead of 8, which is significantly better. So I want to look at getting this, and this is just from the netherwood tree, which we found last episode. So I definitely want to get looking at that. But right now, we're going to wrap this one up. I do apologize for this episode being out much later than it should have been. But work and everything. I hate the fact that the Wandering Trader just spawned behind me. Man, if this was a horror game, you know, just like spookify everything, I probably would have screamed. Anyway, thank you guys. Stay awesome. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.